Incredible! So slow. This delay is just irritating me.
How do you prevent that?
Huh?
That?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, hey! I think it's better now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, hush, woman. Don't say a word. Yes, I did. Sorry. All right, what's up, everybody? Peter Gilmore here, and that annoying you here is the lovely Rosa. Say hello, Rosa.
Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
Shut up.
You shut up.
Shut up.
Go back to Florida with your COVID.
Shut up. I already gave it to you.
No, Rosa doesn't have COVID. She just has an annoying voice. But I digress. All right, welcome everybody to another video right here on the Peter Gilmore YouTube wrestling page, youtube.com/Peter Gilmore. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button down below. And subscribe to all my other channels, which are down below in the description box. And friend me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Share this video all over the internet and tap that bell to turn on all my notifications so you know when I go live or when I do a video, so you don't miss out on some good old-fashioned content. That's all. There was a lot of content this week on my respective channels. So you need to watch all my channels and all my content that I put up this week. And that's all I got to say about that. So do that. So how was your trip, Rosa?
You don't talk about me. I'm gonna get mad right now.
Oh,
talk about your life, not mine.
My life sucks. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, so it's SummerSlam weekend. SummerSlam is coming up in a little bit on the WWE Network for that low price of $9.99. So that's coming up in just a little bit. We had Takeover last night. We had AEW last night. So I was going to do two separate videos, but I think that was going to take too much time, and I don't have much time on my channel to live stream. Only got like 20 hours. So if I did 2-hour videos, I might not have enough to do for the rest of this month and up to my target date, which is September the 9th. So I might not have a lot of hours left to do it. But anyway, so I decided to combine my reviews for the first time ever. So, as the title below says, on this Sunday afternoon, August the 23rd, 2020, it is time for your AEW Dynamite review for August the 22nd, 2020. And it is time for your NXT Takeover XXX, or 30 for you stupid people at home, review. So you get your AEW review, and right after that, your NXT review. So we're going to go right into everything. Like my dick in your mama's ass. But that's another story for another time. But you knew that already. And I'm not saying that because Alberto El Patron used to say, but you knew that already. I say it better than him, though. Fuck Alberto El Patron. Fuck him. And that's all I gotta say about that. Disgrace to Mexico. And all Mexicans. What he did. Poor little Paige. The woman he was dating, like, freaking sexually assaulted her and all that. All the crap he did. Should be rotting in jail. All right, digress. All right, so let's get right into AEW Dynamite for Saturday night. I don't know the. Actually, great. All right, I'm gonna look. I'm not gonna glance. I want to fix it, but for AEW to the show because the screen. I can't see myself. All right, give me a second.
Is that okay?
See.
You still have to close it.
No, that didn't even.
You have to.
You sexy people at home can see 8:20 around now. We're ratings. There's fucking all these fucking commercials and Miami and Indiana. Nobody gives two shits about those two teams. I don't even give two shits about the playoffs, except maybe for the Celtics. And I think they're up 2-0 on Philadelphia. Whoop-de-damn-do. That's all I got to say about that. As long as the Celtics win the title, I'll be fine with that. All right, so AEW Dynamite, like I said, was on Saturday night. And to be honest with you, it wasn't really a good show. And I rarely say that for an AEW show. But I think with them being preempted on due to this week and next week, the ring is going to take a big hit because people were watching NXT. I mean, on Wednesday, that's why they got 835,000 views or something like that. And everybody was watching Takeover last night. Not that many people were watching AEW last night because I think everybody wanted to wait for NXT to go on the air. And even NXT wasn't even that good last night. But I'll get to that later. But let's get to AEW. I want to get this up, and I don't want to take too much time because I got SummerSlam coming up, and I want to do my SummerSlam review later on tonight. We'll get to that later. All right. We start off the night with our first match of the night. We got the Revival FTR with Tully Blanchard as their manager. Yep, Tully Blanchard now their manager, stemming from what happened last week when that whole tag team appreciation night when the Revival came out with Tully Blanchard. And then you had the Bucks and the Rock and Roll Express, and then FTR hit the spike pile driver on Ricky Morton, laying him out. So stems all from that. So they face Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Queen, whatever his name is. Not a bad match, not that bad. Started slow. Dax gets caught with a couple drop kicks. They pick up the pace as they go to the floor. And FTR starts talking with Tully Blanchard. They get back in. Dax heads back in and catches Marquine with a few shots. Private Party comes back, catches Dax in the corner. They make some quick tags in and out. Still some things slow as Marquine grounds and pounds Dax with a hammerlock. But Dax powers Marquine in the corner. FTR can't get out of gear. They have to go to the floor again to regroup. Marquine gets caught with a double clothesline as tags made to Cash Wheeler and starts beating up Marquine, and FTR starts taking control of Marquine for a while. Marquine does get a 1925 sleeper in, but Cash makes the blind tag. FTR use some double team offense for a near fall. And they go back to work on Marquine for a little bit. Cash tries to dive on the floor, but eats guardrail. Oof. And that gives Marquine a chance to make the hot tag to Isaiah Cassidy. Comes in like a house of fire, beats the crap out of FTR, gets a 2 count on Dax, but nearly gets caught with a slingshot suplex. And then Marquine comes back in, gets a crossbody off the top for a near fall. While on the outside, Cash takes Cassidy out, leaving Marquine with Dax. And that was probably where the tide turned for FTR. He gets a near fall off a roll-up and a small package. And then a jackknife coverage turned into a backslide by Dax for a near fall. Then FTR get another blind tag. Marquine gets destroyed with a big-time Arn Anderson-like spine buster. But Isaiah Cassidy makes a save on the cover. And starts picking up a little bit near the end. Isaiah Cassidy tries for a slingshot punch-up, but all he got was the floor as Tully pulled Dax out of the way. And then they get in the ring, they whip who was it? It was a Marquine off the ropes, and then he hit the Shatter Machine. 1, 2, 3. Well, the Goodnight Express. I call it the Shatter Machine. It sounds better than the Goodnight Express. Kind of like a diss to the Rock and Roll Express. Anyway, so they get the win as FTR is still undefeated at 6-0. And we'll see what happens with them next week, as there will be a tag team gauntlet match with the top 4 teams. And number 4 will face number 3. The winner of that faces the number 2. Then the one that wins that one will face FTR to see who becomes the number 1 contenders to the tag team titles and who will face Adam Page and Kenny Omega for the AEW tag team titles at All Out 3 on September the 5th. So we'll see what happens with that next week. But the match was pretty decent. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. All right, then we go backstage with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley. Because the promo mentions we need to talk to, he has to talk to his wife when they're young, who might be coming to AEW, just saying. And she's going to give us a 2-page list of all his faults. I don't want to know what that one of them is. If it's one in the bedroom, I feel sorry for when they're young. He says tough guys usually don't have to say a lot as they don't hide behind their words. And he says that MJF's hiding something. And he wants the company to succeed for 25 years and hope MJF is that leader. He wants him to fill all his potential. And one day, MJF will move out of his parents' basement, lose his virginity, and be champion. Damn. And that will be at All Out on September the 5th, as Mox promises to beat the hell out of him. And the whole world will find out what MJF has been hiding. His Michael Penis, maybe. I don't know. But that's all I got to say about that. So, nice promo from Moxley. Little progression to the storyline. And we're going to hear from MJF in just a second. But I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Not bad, and that's that. All right, then we go to commercial. We come back. We see MJF and his campaign team with, what's her name? Nicole smiling or half smiling. She's like, why am I smiling? I hate this. Then we see Wardlow, and then we see some guy next to him. We're going to find out who that guy is. And he cuts a promo with his campaign team. He talks about Genghis Khan and Napoleon as they were homicidal maniacs. You forgot a guy named Hitler. Hitler. He was a homicidal maniac. Probably one of the biggest homicidal maniacs in world history. Holy crap. Anyway, but it's nothing compared to Dictator Moxley. Talked about last week where he was attacked from behind and then got hit with a paradigm shift. That's why he was wearing a neck brace. Though I think he was kind of faking that neck injury. We all knew. And he says the actions have consequences. He wants to have a family one day, and he wants to play with those kids because he can't because Daddy is mangled. Like, can we play catch, Daddy? No, Daddy's mangled. Sad. He calls a paradigm shift an abomination, and he starts crying like a bitch. 23-year-old crying like a bitch, but I digress. Although we know somebody who has cried like a bitch who is 23 years old on YouTube. Just saying. Not to name drop anybody. But I digress. So then he brings his lawyer. I think his name is Mark Steele or Mark Stedman or some shit like that. Some weird porno type name. I don't care. Brings up this lawyer brings up that the paradigm shift is a dangerous move and could possibly be deadly. And then he says that a petition was signed by 5 million people to have the paradigm shift banned. So then he has a contract all signed for the paradigm shift to be banned for their match at All Out. And they want Moxley to sign it because he's a badass. But if he doesn't sign, he will be sued up the wazoo. They're gonna take his money, his house, his cars, and then Max is gonna take the title. So I could care less if Moxley does sign it because he has other moves that can finish you off. But in his arsenal that could, he really doesn't need the Paradigm Shift. But I think he's gonna hit it anyway with the referee distracted by Wardlow or somebody. I think Moxley's gonna hit the Paradigm Shift, and then referee turns around and he goes 1, 2, 3, and Moxley pins MJF, giving him his first loss. And then MJF it's like we see the tape, we have a tape, and then we're gonna have another match probably on TV like the week after or something like that. Something's gonna happen, like something like that will happen. That's what I think. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So we'll see what happens next week on the program with Moxley and MJF and his crew, and see if Moxley signs the contract or not. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't think, even if Moxley signs, he's got other moves he can hit. So doesn't really need the Paradigm Shift or dirty deeds done dirt cheap, stuff like that. He has other moves, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars, and we move on from there. All right, then we go to our second match of the night, the Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, with the lovely, I don't think they came out by themselves. They didn't come out with Allie and Brandy, because they had a match later on with themselves for the Women's Cup. They come out with Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy Jack, and Luchasaurus. They take on the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., the man who has zero miedo. That's what she has. But I digress. I always have zero miedo. So I have no fear. I fear no man, no woman, no cat, no dog, no python, no nothing. That's why I am the universal champion of YouTube. So I'm the fucking face of this fucking site. You try to get 1.9 million hits on a video. You try. But you can't, because there's nobody on YouTube that can do it. That's in this so-called community called the YWC. Nobody can do it. Nobody has, and nobody will come close to doing it. So when all you millennials and you jerk-offs that are like 18 to 25 years old, grow up, you'll know that the legend, that's me, this guy right here, beat all your views by a landslide. And that video, by the way, is in this moment closer, Sirius XM. If you go to Sirius XM page or you type in this moment closer live, you'll see the video and you see me for a little bit of it. And I hate to gloat, but that's why me in this moment I'm like this. And I thank Maria and the band for that wonderful night back in November of 2015. And that's all I got to say about that. So anyway, we got to the Natural Nightmares and Jurassic Express taking on the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade in an 8-man tag team action. Match was alright, nothing great. Everybody starts beating each other up before the announcements, and before the ring announcing. So sorry, Justin Roberts. I heard something like Dustin Diamond. Who the hell is Dustin Diamond? Is that Screech? Like Screech is doing ring announcing now? I didn't hear that one. I must have been hearing things. Anyway, so they all fight at the beginning of the match, and then the Lucha Brothers hit stereo dives to the outside. They hit QT Marshall with some chops. Then they go back in the ring, and the match officially starts. QT gets double teamed by the Butcher and the Blade. QT comes back with some punches, looks for a dive himself, but the Butcher cuts him off. And then QT Marshall comes back, gets a tag to Dustin Rhodes, comes back. He comes out like a house of fire, just beating the crap out of the Blade. Works on the arm, gets caught with a knee to the back from the apron. Ow. Dustin gets triple teamed on the floor, then tossed back into the Blade, who just basically works on him for a little bit. Makes the tag to the Butcher, as Dustin is getting isolated in the heels corner as we go to commercial, but we have picture in picture, which is what it is. I'd rather not have commercials, but you gotta sell some stuff. Gotta sell some condoms and stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Not that there's been any condom commercials lately, but because people never use them. Not to say, not me. I'm anyway, I'll shut up. Blah 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 blah. So we get picture in picture, and then we come back. Dustin's still getting beat up, but he makes the tag to Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy flies in as well, hits a dive to the floor, comes back in, hits another dive, then another one on the Butcher and the Blade, going completely berserk, and then Pentagon Jr. hits a kick in the ring, and then a choke slam followed by a standing moonsault for a near fall. Tags in the Blade, and I don't even know if he was legal. I lost track of it. Everything going crazy. So I believe I don't know, it's Luchasaurus or Jungle Boy gets attacked at QT. Hits a slow motion Diamond Gilmore cutter. How do you hit a slow motion diamond cutter? You just go. Gotta hit it the right way, there, QT. If you can't hit a diamond cutter, then get the fuck out of the business. Just saying. I mean, I've seen people botch the diamond cutter. Really bad. And I yelled at him. I was like, you can't hit a diamond cutter! And he tried to say, you do it. I was like, I'll be glad to. Give me the money. Give me the money. I'll get in. I'll hit it. I was like, let me hit the diamond. Let me hit the Gilmore cutter. And that's it. I'm like, that's it. They'll sign me in a heartbeat. But I don't want to be a wrestler. I'd rather be an announcer or a ring announcer or a play-by-play guy. I'm not a wrestler. I'll learn, but I'm not going to wrestle anytime soon. I don't want my sexy body to get hurt. The ladies will not like that. You got to be strong. Especially in the bedroom. But I digress. So anyway, here's the slow-motion diamond cutter. And Jungle Boy comes in, but he eats a drop kick. Dustin gets a really sloppy Canadian Destroyer. He hits that. Ugh. And all out chaos is going on. I don't know who the hell was legal in this match. And then near the end, the Blade and Pentagon goes up top. And then the Blade's like, no, you're not going up top. We're not going to hit the Fear Factor Spike Package Power Driver. So Pentagon and the Blade start going at it. Start arguing. Pentagon pushes him right into a 1925 roll-up by the Jungle Boy. 1, 2, 3. They get the win. And that was that. So match was, I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, they start arguing and start pushing and shoving each other. And then Eddie Kingston, who newly signed to AEW, he comes out and he tries to stop everything, as you know who just passed by. So he tries to calm everything down, and he eventually does. He starts talking about all of them being on the indie circuit, but they're now on TNT, and TNT knows drama, trying to sell TNT. But they don't need any of that drama. Nobody can beat them unless they fight against each other. And he asks, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? Puts over all of them. It's like, you're not, like, he's like to Pepper Parks. who's the Blade, and says we've gone up and down the road, stuff like that, and he wants wants them all to come work with him, and they can have everything they want. So you guys can be champions. You guys can be champions. Why aren't you tag team champions? So looks like Eddie Kingston's forming a stable or something with the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade. Don't know if they're going to be called anything, but we'll see what happens with this little group of 5. Not that we need more factions in wrestling, but it is what it is. So that was that. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And we will move on from there. That's that. All right, there we get a video from earlier in the day with our favorite role model. No, not Bayley. Give me a hug. Who's going to be losing her SmackDown Women's title tonight to Asuka. Ha! And then Sasha Banks is going to lose her belt to Asuka. So Asuka's going to become Asuka Double Belt, or the Empress of all belts. And then Sasha and Bayley are going to start arguing, and then something's going to happen on Monday night. Says we're still the women's tag team champions, and they're going to find out who they're going to fight at Payback next week. I'm thinking it's going to be like somebody like Trish Stratus and Lita, or Beth Phoenix and Natalya, or somebody like. Well, I doubt it's going to be Beth Phoenix and Natalya, but Natalya's doing some stupid freaking storyline with Lana. This whole TikTok angle, I don't know what the fuck it is. Stupid angle that it is. You think Naomi deserves better? I think Natalya deserves better. Hashtag Natalya deserves better. Just saying. She doesn't need to be put up with a dumb bitch like Lana. Get her out. That's all I gotta say about that. So we get to everybody's favorite role model, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, baby. She cuts a promo. She has Rebel there, and I think somebody else. I don't know who the hell that guy was. I think her bodyguard or something like that. Oh, it was Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, looking hot as always, and they're talking and they're kissing and then kissing and making out right in front of them. And then Britt's like, stop that. There's dangers of exchanging human saliva, stuff like that. Really now, Britt? Really now? That's why you've been kissing Adam Cole lately? Really there, Britt? Really? Exchanging saliva is dangerous. Ain't that some shit, boo? Ain't that some shit? So next time you try to kiss somebody, beware! So if I was Britt Baker, maybe I wouldn't be kissing Adam Cole. Something might happen. But I digress. She offers them free dental care for a year if they can help her with Big Swole. And then she says that her match next week with Swole will be a handicap match. And I thought it was going to be her and Britt Baker and Reba and Rebel taking on Big Swole, but it's going to be Kip Sabian. I believe it's Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, or Britt Baker and Penelope Ford taking on Big Swole. So they agree to join her, but then they go back to making out. Get a room. And that's basically all I got to say about that. So that wasn't a bad segment. I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. So like I said, next week we'll see Big Swole in a handicap match with Penelope Ford and Dr. Britt Baker making her comeback from her nasal surgery and her leg injury as well. So we'll see that. So we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 2 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Blah, 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 blah. All right, then we get to what I thought was a segment of the night. We got Tony Schiavone, Tony Baloney, Tony Schiavone, whatever you want to call him. So he brings out Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, comes out with the best friends, Chucky T and Trent. They go to the ring. Tony congratulates him on beating Chris Jericho with the mousetrap last week in that epic rematch they had. It wasn't that epic, but their rematch. And then Jericho comes out. Because he was about to. Orange Cassidy was about to talk, and then Jericho comes out because he's the demo god. You need that demographic. He comes out, talks about only being pinned 3 times since his debut, and since the debut show in October. He says one of those losses was to Orange Cassidy. He admits he was embarrassed to an extent, but deep down he's proud of Orange, and he proved that he has heart, courage, and has proven to be a main event star in AEW. So he has a little bit of the bubbly, and wants to offer a toast to Orange. Then he says we need a third match since they're at that. Since he won and then Orange Cassidy won, we need to have a third match. Obviously, we needed one. So Jericho mentions he's the genius that came up with the gimmick match involving a briefcase and a ladder, meaning the Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, what, you couldn't just say it, Chris? You just had to abbreviate it. Just say Money in the Bank. What is Vince gonna do? Sue you for saying Money in the Bank? Fuck you, Vince. Who's gonna be 75 years old coming, I think, this week or next week. 75 years old, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He needs to fucking retire. And then everybody see that video of him diving off that thing, at WrestleMania. He was teaching Gronk how to take the fall off the ledge, and then Vince showed him, and he did it perfect. He did it with ease. Freaking 75-year-old guy taking a freaking bump like that. And any real 75-year-old probably be dead right now. But not Vince McMahon, because he's got the grapefruits and he's taking those steroids that he got from Hulk Hogan, brother. But I digress. So he mentions that. Then he says, I got a new creation. The Mimosa Mayhem match. We thought the Stadium Stampede match was crazy. This looks to be even more crazy. So we see the video package describing what the match will be. Basically, they will mix the bubbly and orange juice and put it in an 80-gallon vat. And the only way to win is by pinfall, submission, or throwing your opponent into the vat of mimosa. Alrighty then. That sounds interesting. So we see what happens on that. So Jericho's like, are you in? Cassie's like, so it's official. I don't even know when this match is happening. I think next week. They didn't even say. I think it might be all out. Because I don't even remember if they said it was next week or all out. I didn't hear anything, but so it's official. So we're gonna see this match sometime soon. And then Jerry's like, I want to make a toast to you, and all the entire inner circle wants to toast you, Orange. So they get near the ring, and then Jericho's like, easy, Tony, I'm not gonna hurt him. And then he's like, get him! And then the inner circle beat the crap out of Orange Cassidy and the best friends. Then they hold Orange Cassidy upside down, start drenching him in freaking bubbly, and Orange Cassidy's like, so we're gonna see what happens in that Mimosa Mayhem match. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be stupid but fun. And I think eventually I'm going with Orange Cassidy to pick up to win that one. Because I think Jericho's is gonna put him over again. Orange Cassidy will win the feud. Jericho get embarrassed once again by getting thrown into the vat of mimosa. But get drunk in the process by drinking all of it. And that'd be it. And Orange Cassidy gets tossed even further up the main event picture. Maybe an AEW title match. Though I really don't want to see him and Moxley. I really don't, but he's getting up there. He's getting over. The fans love him. Some people in the back love him. I mean, the best friends love him too because he's their partner and everything. But it is what it is. So Jericho's kind of taken a page out of WWE's book since they had matches of that kind. The hog pen match with I think it was Phineas Godwin, or I forgot, it was Phineas or the other Godwin. I don't remember his name. Against Triple H in a hog pen match, which Triple H obviously won. The Buried Alive match, so many of those. Casket match, so many of those with the Undertaker and Mankind and Kamala, rest in peace Kamala. Mankind and Yokozuna, rest in peace Yokozuna, and a bunch of others he's had casket matches with, and he's only lost I think once, and that was that to Yokozuna at the Royal Rumble, thanks to every fucking heel coming out and beating the crap out of the Undertaker and helping Yokozuna win, and then Undertaker cut that epic promo inside the casket saying, "The fire that cannot be extinguished. The spirit of the Undertaker." And then we see the Undertaker just levitate, even though it was Marty Jannetty dressed as the Undertaker, getting pulled up to the rafters. And then we didn't see the Undertaker to SummerSlam of that same year, and he fought the fake Undertaker, which was I believe Chris Adams, or Crush for you stupid people at home. And then Undertaker comes back, Paul Bearer comes back with that big ass fuck urn, and he opens it, and a big ass spotlight goes around the room. Then the Undertaker comes out. It's like, that's the Undertaker we know. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be funny, and like I said, I think Orange Cassidy's gonna win, but we'll see what happens with that, and we're gonna move on from there. And that's that. Blah 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 blah. All right, then we get to our next match, the Dark Order. We have the Beaver Boys and number 5. I think his name's Angel, something like that. I forgot his name is Aries Angel or something like that. I forgot his name. Doesn't matter. His name is 5. They're teaming up with the Beaver Boys, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. They're taking on the Elite of the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson and Kenny Omega, one half of the tag team champions. This match was It was all right. Nothing to write home about. But I've seen better Bucks matches, and this was kind of like a letdown for the Bucks. But them basically in an almost half squash match. But that's it. It starts off with Nick taking on one of the members of the Dark Order. I don't remember who it was. So he goes to work on one of them. Hits a head scissors and then a springboard arm drag. Lucha Libre. And get a blind tag to Matt. Gets an arm drag of his own. Then a double drop kick sends the Dark Order to the floor. Matt tries for the triple Northern Suplex of Doom, but the third one gets stopped. The Elite Triple Team with a leg drop from Kenny, finishing the sequence. And then number 5 gets in the ring with Kenny as things slow down a little bit. Kenny gets shoved off the top rope to the floor, and then gets caught on the floor with a chair shot to the head. Yeah, there's chair shots to the head now. Not in WWE, though. What is? Then a chair is set on Kenny's chest, and one of the Dark Order members jumps off the apron onto him. And then, this was getting so confusing. Which one is which? And even Taz got confused. Basically, he almost died on the floor, on a dive to the floor as we go to picture in picture. And you see Kenny getting beat down in the corner and getting ground and pound with a headlock. They miss a stomp from the top and gets clotheslined by Kenny. As he gets the hot tag to Nick. Nick comes in, starts going wild, hits a backstabber, makes the tag to Matt. They throw some knees, some kicks, get a bulldog into a dropkick combination, which impressed Shivani. Oh my, that was a great maneuver. Shut up, Shivani. And then we see the referee counting. I don't know if it was Rick Knox or somebody else. I don't remember who it was. Not Mike Chioda, but it is what it is. So many people are in the ring. And then we see Kenny back in, as I guess now he's a legal man. But he eats a German suplex into a sunset flip for a near fall. And the Dark Order back in the ring. And they keep the Bucks at bay. The referee's still counting. I mean, I don't know why you just disqualified everybody, but it is what it is. But no avail. Kenny makes the save by himself. Gets the hot tag to Nick. Then the Dark Order come back with stereo tombstone pile drivers. Then they hit a stomp from the top, which gets another near fall. And this is just going completely berserk and just looks like a fucking clusterfuck. And then one of the Dark Order members looks at both Bucks and does a springboard while turning his back just to dive into doing super kicks. Then the Bucks hit the Undertaker, and then Kenny comes in, hits One Winged Angel, 1, 2, 3 to finish off this clusterfuck of a match. And that was it. So match I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. Probably my lowest rating for a Bucks match I ever gave them. It's just a fucking mess with these guys. Just horrible. No, I mean the match didn't flow. I mean it like, you know, rest periods and freaking just everybody getting in and out. It was just confusing as hell. You know, and that's that. So like I said, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Afterwards, Kenny gets pissed. I mean, he gets pissed. It's a powerbomb, I think, to number 5 it was. And then he grabs a chair. Looks like he was about to hit a powerbomb onto the chair. But then the Bucks stop him and they're like, what are you doing, Kenny? What the fuck are you doing? You know? And Kenny's like, I got hit in the head with a chair. I'm going to kick his ass. And then the Bucks like, it's over. It's over. Let it go. So, you know, still planting the seeds for Kenny Omega's turn back to the cleaner, which will probably be at All Out. I think it'll be a double turn. Just turn on Adam Page. Because Adam Page has been like siding with FTR as of late. With that, and what happens in the match next week, which I'm going to get to right now. So I gave the match 2.25 out of 5 stars. Nothing for the aftermath. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, we go to the back with Alex Marvez and FTR and Tully Blanchard. He announces the gauntlet match, which will happen next week to determine the challenges for the tag titles at All Out. Goes over the rules. He said the match will follow the top 5 rankings, with FTR being the last team involved. So they give an interview with Tully. They talk about what they did to Ricky Morton and having Tully with them. Then we see Hangman Adam Page come out, drinking hand as always, because he's a fucking alcoholic. Don't tell him I said that. Anyway, he's like, what are you guys doing out there? What is this and that? Why'd you do that to Ricky Morton? And FTR tell him to chill. And it says, what happened last week was their own personal business and it had nothing to do with him. Then he smoothed things over with Page and put the idea in his head that if the Bucks win the gauntlet and then beat him, it was to undo all he has done, and he will be back in the shadows. And basically, FTR playing mind games, Hangman. And we'll see what happens with that. So we'll see what happens in the gauntlet match next week. We got the Butcher. I think we got the Butcher and the Blade. No, wait. No, it's the Bucks. The Bucks. I think the Lucha Brothers. That's 2. Butcher and the Blade. That's 3. I think Private Party as well. Or it might be SCU. I'm not sure. But those teams will face off in a series of matches. And the winner of the gauntlet match will face FTR to see who faces Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega at All Out. Obviously, it's going to be FTR. Obviously, they're just doing this just to hype the tag team division, the top 4 teams. And that's all I got to say about that. So we will move on from there. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars, and we will move on from there. Did you just nod off? Anyway. All right, then we get to our next match. Darby Allin taking on Will Hobbs, some jabroni jobber. This match was it was alright. And continues the storyline with Brian Cage, Taz, and Ricky Starks, which I'll get to in a minute. The match was anything to write home about. I'm gonna get to the point, and Will Hobbs had a little bit of offense in, and Hobbs was like screaming, "I need this match! I need to win!" Well, you lost, sir. And Darby comes back, hits a springboard back elbow, heads up top, hits the coffin drop, 1, 2, 3. He beats his Hammernager, and that's that. So the match I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that was that match. Lasted just under 3 minutes. Filler match. And that was that. And then after that, Taz gets on the mic, cuts a promo on Darby. He says he has a new member of Team Taz, and says his name is Darby too. So out comes Ricky Starks dressed up as Darby. I was like, oh my God, this looks so stupid. But, and he's carrying around a skateboard. So he's like doing his mannerisms and all that stuff and talking a little bit. I don't remember what he said. I didn't care. And then Brian Cage comes from behind, attacks him, lays him out with a shot from the FTW belt right in the head. And then Ricky Starks comes to the ring, starts pouring water on Darby Allin to get rid of the face paint. He tells Darby he needs the paint to be somebody. He says life is a joke, and Darby is the biggest joke of them all. Then he goes to the top and hits a really sloppy middle rope coffin drop. And Taz's like, he's so badass, he could do it from the middle rope. Oh my God, that was cheesy and lame at the same time. Taz needs to shut the fuck up. Brother, from Red Hook, brother. But I digress. So, yeah, so we get that. So probably get more of this storyline with Darby Allin, Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks. I think Darby might need some help because he's just there by himself. And he's probably going to win the FTW title, most likely. And it's probably going to get to that point. He wins the FTW title, and that'll be it for him. So that's what it is. And then Cage will probably fire Taz just because he lost the belt, and Taz will just probably be the manager of Ricky Starks. Or do something. I don't know what Taz will do. Probably just go back up doing boring as fuck commentary. But it is what it is. So I gave the match 2.25 out of 5 stars. The Aftermath, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. And that was pretty much that was it. That's that. All right, then we see the Latin god Sammy Guevara comes out with his cue cards as we go to picture-in-picture. So he has the signs letting Matt Hardy know that he's sorry. He's sorry that it put him out. Sorry that Matt can't catch chairs. That chair shot right to the head. He's sorry Sammy isn't. He's sorry. He is sorry. And that Matt is an idiot and Matt needs to be broken. And consider him deleted. And Sammy finally looks at the cards, realizes he's been duped. Actually, Sammy is an idiot. Sammy needs to be broken. As the cue cards were messed up thanks to Matt Hardy. He's been duped by Matt Hardy. Matt comes from behind and attacks him, beats the crap out of him as we continue with picture-in-picture. Then we go to commercial. Why? Why couldn't we just stick with this and not go to picture-in-picture? Bad production. Bad production. It is what it is. But we come back. Matt is beating the crap out of Sammy with a chair. Then he puts him through the ring announcer's table. He just throws him off the stage into the table, breaks apart, laying him out, killing him almost. No inner circle to save him. So then Matt goes to the outside, gets the chair that he got hit with a couple weeks ago, tries to throw it at Sammy's head, but the referee's like, no. Well, they're all out to stop him. And then Sammy gets helped to the back by some doctors. As Matt says, this ends when he ends him. So this is going to Going to be some epic stuff. And next week on the program, we're going to have a tables match, Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, to see who is the best and who wins this. I don't know if this feud is going to end after this match or it's going to end with the final deletion or some shit like that. But I don't think this feud is going to end after this tables match. But we'll see what happens with that, and we will move on from there. So I gave all that 3 out of 5 stars, and we'll see what happens in that tables match next week on the program. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. All right, then we get to Tony Schiavone, who throws it to a newcomer to, well, I don't know if she's a newcomer, but we sent it to the NWA Women's Champion, the lovely Thunder Rosa. Not her. We see a close-up of the NWA Women's title. So she cuts a promo saying she has come here to actually put the women's division on the map, and she's going to be at All Out. And she calls out Hikaru Shida, and she's here for the AEW Women's title. So we'll see what happens with that. So Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida could be a great match at All Out. I think it will happen, but we'll see if it gets announced in the coming weeks. And that's that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Nice to see Thunder Rosa. That's all I got to say about that. All right, then we get to our next match. But before that, we had the lovely Veda Scott joining the announce team. For our next match, the finals of the Women's Tag Team Cup. We had Ivelisse and Diamante, the Dominican and Puerto Rican bombshells. They take on the Nightmare Sisters, Brandy Rose and Allie, who come out with Dustin Rose and Katie Marshall. Match was what surprising was that. I'm just gonna get to the finish. I really don't want to describe this match. It was probably pretty much back and forth. We're getting to the end. Allie gets attacked, hits the rabbit hole, but Ivelisse makes the save. Allie eats a back elbow from Diamante, and then Ivelisse comes back in. QT gets on the apron, eats an elbow from Ivelisse. Brandy gets a double underhook, but gets back chopped to the floor. Ow. And Allie's left all by herself, and Diamante, I think, hits a move. Or it was Diamante hits a move. She pins, and then she gets the pin 1, 2, 3 on Allie at the 9:35 mark, and they win the Women's Tag Team Cup. I thought this whole tag team thing was just perfect for the Nightmare Sisters. They're gonna put them over. They're gonna win the cup, but no, sadly they didn't. And I guess I'm picking my nose. I don't give a fuck. So Ivelisse and Diamante win the trophy. That was presented to them by Medusa Michelli, Alundra Blaze, whatever you want to call her. They are given flowers, but they throw the flowers at Medusa's feet, and then they hold up the Dominican and Puerto Rican flag, and that's it. So congratulations to Ivelisse and Diamante. You basically got nothing. You got a stinky little trinket trophy. Whoop-de-damn fucking you. That's all I gotta say about that. But that's it. So it's interesting to see Ivelisse and Diamante team up to see if they can.
You're local dying.
Yeah, I am too. So, it's hot in this fucking house. It's fucking hot in New York City, and Jersey too. But it is what it is. I would take off my shirt, but I don't want to scare the ladies. They might come in their panties. But that's all the time. But you knew that already. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with Ivelisse and Diamante, what happens to them from here, and what happens with the Nightmare Sisters. I don't know. Maybe another match. I don't know. I really want to know what the payoff was for this. If it was just for the stupid trophy, then would it just hype up the women's division? Then it makes no sense to give them a trophy. If they're going to reintroduce women's tag team titles, copying WWE, but I don't know if they will do that in the future. Who knows? And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. And we're going to move on from there. So after that, the announcers run down next Thursday's edition of Dynamite. which includes a tables match between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. We got the Gauntlet match. And that's basically it. I think there's some other matches I didn't get, but we'll see what happens on the show. Should be a pretty good show as we're getting closer and closer to All Out. The pre go home show before All Out, as the September 2nd edition of Dynamite will be the go home show before All Out, which happens on September the 5th, Labor Day weekend. So we got that. So pay-per-view tonight, pay-per-view next week, pay-per-view after that. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to get a lot of content on this channel coming up in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I have the time to do it, but we'll see what happens. If not, if I don't, I'll just put on another channel. Probably put on my TGC Reborn channel because I have enough time there, but we'll see what happens with that. And we will move on from there. I went to the wrong page. All right. So we go to commercial. We come back with our main event for the TNT Championship. We got the Prince of Pro Wrestling, the American Nightmare, Cody, with his coach Arn Anderson, taking on the Exalted One, Brody Lee. Now, I thought this was going to be a competitive match. Might maybe go like 10, 15 minutes. This match was 3 minutes long, and it was a fucking squash match. A squash match. Why? Basically, Cody got his ass kicked. Cody, and they, like, thanks for coming, Cody. Holy shit, he got his ass kicked. This felt like Cena Brock at SummerSlam 2016, I think it was, or 17, or whatever year it was, when Brock just beat Cena and won the WWE title in like maybe 5-6 minutes. Just took Cena to Suplex City, hitting like 12 or 13 straight German suplexes, and then he hit the F5, 1, 2, 3. That was it. Cena just like, thanks for coming, Cena. And then Cena had that match at the next pay-per-view, where I think he won after that. But it is what it is. But squash match city here. I mean, Cody put in a little offense early, attacking at the bell, but Brody's like, I'm not having that. Tosses Cody to the floor, fires Cody into the security railing, hits a big boot that sends Cody flying over the railing. They start brawling on the floor. The referee's out with them. I guess did I miss something? There was a no count out rule. Totally botching everything. But no matter. They get back in the ring. Brody Lee's just destroying Cody. Hits a release German suplex. And then hits a super kick, which makes Cody all jellyfish. Hits another one with just another near fall. As Arn's trying to give advice on the floor, but it's not helping. As Brody Lee just beating the crap out of him. And he hits not one, but 2 power bombs. Then he finishes it off with a discus lariat. 1, 2, 3. We have a new TNT champion, Mr. Brody Lee, the Exalted One. As he picks up the victory. Match I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. I really didn't think it should be a squash match. But it is what it is. And that's basically it. But the aftermath was something to talk about. As Lee Selwyn with the Dark Order, he's interviewed by Tony Schiavone. He says he now has the power, and it's people like Tony that created him by holding him down. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but anyway. He says when he had the chance, he knocked it out of the park. And but even though he lost to Moxley in his first major title match, he lost. So, hypocrite much, but it is what it is. That's that. And all the while, Cody's getting stretched out of the arena. And we all think Cody's hurt, but Cody gives a thumbs up. He's a neck brace around him. He's on, typical stretch it out of the arena. But the Dark Order attack Arn Anderson. They wheel Cody back to the ring. Brody knocks over the stretcher as officials pour out to bring any kind of order to this crap, this chaos. as nobody's there to make the save for Cody. He's just there to get his ass handed to him. But then the Nightmare family come out. Brandy, Allie, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall come out. But the Dark Order drag Dustin and Marshall's bodies out from the back. And then Brandy's out there to check on her husband. And then we see Anna Jay, the first female of the Dark Order, gets unleashed on her as she chokes her out. Brody then dumps out the old TNT title that has been broken into 100 million pieces, which should have been done months ago. Drops it over Cody's limp body. And it's 6:14. And SummerSlam is coming up pretty soon. So, get that. So that's that. So that ends the segment. That ends the night for AEW Dynamite. So it's the final segment I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. So we'll see what happens with Brody Lee. Now he's the TNT champion. Will he be like Cody and be a fighting champion? That remains to be seen. Will Cody get a rematch? Probably. But we'll see what happens with that. As we'll move on with that. And that's it. That's it for AEW Dynamite for this past set for last night. So I gave AEW 6 out of 10. AEW reviews and pay-per-view reviews and all that stuff. So this was kind of a letdown. I understand because they got preempted and nobody was really watching them on Saturday night. I don't know what the ratings were. If anybody knows, put it in the chat or put it in the comments after the videos are put up. And that's pretty much all I can say about that. So 6 out of 10 stars for AEW Dynamite, and we'll see what happens this Thursday night on the program. We've got the Gauntlet match for the tag team. So you go gets the tag team titles, and we have Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara in a tables match. Should be some good stuff this Thursday night, and hopefully by Friday we'll get both the ratings for next week, this coming week, I should say. But I think NXT won this week. Let's just put it that way. I think NXT won. I think AEW probably got like 600,000 people at least. But who knows? Maybe 500,000. Who knows? Probably got the lowest rating ever. Depending on, I don't know. It depends. Because everybody's watching basketball and then they turned to AEW when it finally went on. But by the time that went on, they already saw like half the show. And then everybody turned to NXT Takeover. And then nobody was watching AEW after that. Or they were kind of going back and forth between matches here and there. But that's that. All right, so that ends the AEW part of the review. Now let's get into the NXT Takeover 30 review. And Takeover wasn't that bad, but we've seen way better NXT Takeovers in the past. This one was kind of a letdown. It was, I think, the last takeover at the Performance Center, which I was kind of surprised. I thought they were doing it in the Thunderdome, but they're in the Performance Center. They had a unique set with a WrestleMania 30-like set with the X's. That was kind of cool, and with the pictures of the wrestlers on the side, which I thought was pretty damn cool. But the show itself was it wasn't bad. It was pretty decent, pretty solid, but nothing great. And let's get into it. We started with the pre-show match, which I'm not going to get much into. We had for the number one contenders to the NXT tag team titles. We had Breezango with Tyler Breeze and Fandango taking on Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, taking on Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza. Pretty hard, pretty back and forth match. Pretty solid match. We get to the end. Breezango comes close after a sweet backbreaker leg drop combo. Then everything breaks down. And Wilde hits a 450 splash on Tyler, but the count is broken up. Oni Lorcan then crushes Joaquin Wilde with a running uppercut, but then Tyler Breeze clocks him with a beauty shot super kick. 1, 2, 3. Breezango is now the new number one contenders, and they will face Imperium at a later date, but we don't know when it's going to be. Maybe on a special or on an edition of NXT TV. And we get that. So it wasn't a bad match. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. And congratulations to Breezango, and that's pretty much all I can say about that. All right, then we go to the main show. We had Vic Joseph, Corey Graves, and Beth Phoenix, even though Beth Phoenix was at home. Of course, she had to be with Edge. Of course. I mean, where was Morrow in all this? Why wasn't Morrow Renaro on commentary? I mean, Vic Joseph was boring. I mean, the whole thing when he was on 205 Live, he was even worse. Not that I watched 205 Live, but I mean, Vic Joseph was garbage. He's like Byron Saxton, garbage. Just saying. I could have done a better job doing commentary for NXT Takeover 30. But I digress. I don't know why Corey Graves was there. They couldn't get we couldn't get Nigel because Nigel's stuck in the UK. Maybe they could have put Sam Roberts on commentary. Not that I wanted to hear him either. That little twerp. He's even worse than Pat McAfee. They need fucking color commentators, man. It's annoying. I mean, it would have been better with Tom Phillips, but Tom Phillips and Vic Joseph, I don't know how that would have worked. Tom Phillips and Corey Graves could have worked. I think that's happened before. Was when no, I don't think it's happened before because Corey Graves was way on in WWE by then. But Tom Phillips and Corey Graves could have been pretty good on commentary last night. And then you had Beth Phoenix as always. Or Vic Joseph, Beth Phoenix would have been better. Just get rid of Corey Graves. Let him go back to fucking Carmella. I mean, that's it. Jesus Christ. But anyway, we get this commentary team. And then we get to the first match of the night. Finn Balor taking on Timothy Thatcher. Pretty good match. Pretty good to start off the show. But didn't have that kind of oomph to it. It's also with Finn attacking the belt. Thatcher takes him to the mat. Then takes over. Finn gets up, but gets beat in the chest. Tries to take control on the mat, but Thatcher is just too much for him. Balor pops up with some adrenaline rush, only to get rolled into the Kimura lock, and he's definitely in trouble here. But Finn somehow gets out of it, but still the arm gets worked on by Thatcher, who drives knees into his back. Thatcher gets a near fall on a butterfly suplex, and holds on, but Finn goes through a pin with a drop kick, getting some space between them, which gets him going. He starts reeling off some offense. Works an abdominal stretch like it's 1992. I thought it would have been 1942, but okay. Hits a lifting reverse DDT for a near fall. Goes for the coup de grace and missed, and he hurts his leg in the process. Ooh. And you don't want to do that with Timothy Thatcher, especially that submission specialist that he is. And he was smelling blood. Pounces on the knee. Wraps him in a half crab. Finn kicks his way free, but eats a released German suplex. Then Finn slaps on another modified abdominal stretch. Thatcher counters into an ankle lock. Then transitions. Tries to make the transition, but Finn rolled through and delivers a double stomp. Goes up top, hits the coup de grace, but the knee's still injured. Next on 1916. And he picks up his 12th TakeOver win. Probably, I think, the most in TakeOver history. So he gets the win. I didn't think he was going to win. I thought Timothy Thatcher might have got the win, but it is what it is. I think I picked Finn Balor to win, but I could have been wrong. Anyway, but solid match. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And Finn Balor wins, and we'll see where Finn Balor goes from here. Maybe an NXT North American title match coming up, but we'll see. And that's that. Speaking of the North American title, that is our second match of the night. 5-way ladder match. Bronson Reed taking on Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, and the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark. This was chaotic. This was great. Just a hard-hitting match. I mean, we've seen better matches at the, when they first introduced the North American title when Adam Cole Baby won the title. That was a phenomenal match. But this one was not bad. It was okay. It was okay to good. So I liked how Bronson Reed came out with a Bam Bam Bigelow inspired gear with the flames and stuff. All he needed to do was shave his head and have a freaking tattoo on his head, and just he could have looked like the new version of Bam Bam Bigelow, who needs to go into the Hall of Fame. Just saying. So Damian Priest comes out during the Velveteen Dream's entrance to get the match going, and then him and Bronson Reed, they clean house. Then they beat Cameron Grimes. Then they face off. Dream interrupts and gets things going with some super kicks. Grimes kicks Damian and has a ladder, but Johnny Gargano stopped him and hits a slingshot spear. And everyone tries to go for the title, but everyone gets cut off. And then Grimes has two ladders pulled apart, causing him to do a split. Ooh, that had to hurt. Damian Priest and the Dream throw ladders at each other when Bronson Reed avoids being sandwiched by them. And then he hits a senton on the ladder onto the Dream and Johnny Gargano. Ouch. And Cameron Grimes German suplexes Damian Priest, and the Dream chop blocks Reed to save Johnny from an alliance between them. Johnny sends Cameron and the Dream to attack, and he sneaks up the ladder. He's like, "You go attack." Go up the ladder. And then everyone just gets crushed in the corner as bodies and ladders just go everywhere. Before Bronson Reed avalanches them all, which was sick. Cameron tries to sneak up the ladder, but is knocked over it and hits the ropes hard. I mean, really hard. That had to hurt. Damian stops him, and then Damian hits a springboard kick to the Dream's leg, knocking him down. It goes for a springboard somersault, but Johnny Gargano hits a super kick. And then the Dream almost destroys Damian Priest by throwing a ladder to the outside onto him. Then everyone hits dives from a Johnny Tope to a Bronson Reed Tope with a Cameron Grimes inverted power slam in the middle of that. So that was a good flurry there, a good segment there. Damian tops it all with a huge somersault after running up the ladder, a la Shelton Benjamin. And Cameron Grimes climbs, looks to have the title won, but Candice LeRae, who came out to check on Johnny, her husband, stops him and then knocks the ladder over. Cameron scolds her and goes to hit her, but she lights him up and basically beats the shit out of him. Before he can do anything, Johnny stops him with the ladder. Then she holds her husband's hand to set up a rope walk hurricanrana off the apron on the Cameron Grimes. That was inventive, pretty nice. Bronson Reed stops Johnny from winning the belt. Then Candice gets on Johnny's back to prevent him from on Bronson Reed's back, preventing him from winning. So Reed comes off the ladder with a splash on Johnny while Candice was still on his back. Oof. Thank you for coming, Candice. And then Bronson and Damian fight on one ladder. Cameron Grimes climbs up the other one for no apparent reason. He knocks Damian off, ends up on that ladder. And then the Dream stops him and takes a super kick. Then gets his leg caught in the ladder as it falls over. Ooh, sick. He ends up all known by the title, but he missed it. Damian climbs up and knocks him off with an ear clap, only for Bronson Reed to interrupt. And then Johnny and Grimes nearly almost get killed when Johnny does a sunset flip bomb off the ladder onto another ladder. Oof. Sick. Johnny wants the DDT, the slingshot, the one final beat, but Dream catches him. He then hits the Dream Valley driver off the apron onto Damian Priest on another ladder. And then Bronson Reed and the Dream get close, but Bronson Reed manages to send Dream flying out of the ring and over the guardrail through a table. And Bronson's all alone, looks to have the title won, a big upset until Cameron Grimes knocks him off. And Cameron looks to have the title won, but Gargano stopped him. Then Damian Priest stops them. Johnny hits him with the title and then it unhooks it, but Priest holds on to it. He hits Johnny, sending him down, and Priest pulls down the gold, winning the belt. So Damian Priest is the new North American champion. I'm not shocked by it, but he kind of does deserve. I was hoping for Cameron, but Cameron cut a promo and it was like really hurt. He's like, I was in outer space, but I couldn't get to the moon. Mark my words, I will get that jet fuel back. I will go to the moon, Daddy. And that's basically all I gotta say about that. So Damian Priest is your new North American Champion mere weeks, and that's that. Not a bad ladder match. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. And after that, and that's it. All right, then we get to, I believe this is match number 3. We got Pat McAfee taking on our good friend Adam Cole. So Cole comes out. I think he came up by himself. And then we see Pat McAfee cutting a promo backstage saying he's kicked off Super Bowls and has the strongest leg in the world. I doubt that. And he says he's going to be over really quickly. Then he comes out with his friends who come out with Cole suck shirts on. Very inventive there, Pat. The match was actually surprisingly good. You know, Pat McAfee showed a lot of heart and everything. And surprisingly, he did pretty good. You know, the promo was pretty decent. And, he held his own against Adam Cole. So I kind of give him a little bit of credit. So you get a golf clap, Pat. That's all you get. But he held his own. Cole locks in a headlock to start, but Pat can't break it. But when he does, Cole tried to kick his head off. And then Pat knocks him over with a shoulder block, and he starts going, yeah, oh man. Goes to the outside for a breather when Cole gets up really quickly. Cole falls, and Pat's boys get involved. So then the rest of the Undisputed Era come out, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. Security has to split everything up, obviously. Then out of nowhere, Pat McAfee leaps off of them with a somersault onto everybody, which was kind of cool. Is what it is. Which gave Pat the upper hand, keeps control inside the ring. He hits a body slam while squatting. Interesting. Busts out a drop kick and another one. Then Cole comes back, and they go back and forth. And he pulls Pat's tank top over his head, just beating the crap out of him with a pump kick. Then he hits the Ushigoroshi for a near fall. And Cole's like, very good, Pat. Very good. He hits the backstabber, but Pat comes back, cuts off Cole up top, climbs up for a superplex. Cole shows him off, but Pat does a backflip, lands on his feet. Interesting. Jumps straight up to the top to hit the superplex for a near fall. Goes for a kick outside. Misses. It's still 6 out. Cole now pounds his butt. Pat wants to free to count him. I don't know why. Cole wasn't hurt or anything. Cole kicks him in the leg, applies a figure 4 leg lock. Pat struggles and makes it to the ropes. Then he's holding his leg and still calls Cole a little punk. Then the referee gets distracted. Pat kicks him in the nuts with a low blow. He adds a clothesline, hits the punt, but Cole kicks out of it, thankfully. Then Pat starts going to Pat McAfee, baby. He mocks the Adam Cole baby thing, which you cannot do. Comes off the top, eats a super kick. And this was basically it for Pat McAfee. Adam Cole removes the knee pad, but he's like, nah, I'm not gonna hit the last call. He backs up, climbs up the ropes, looking for the Panama City Destroyer or Panama Sunrise. He hits it. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole, baby, gets the win in a pretty decent match. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. So Pat McAfee isn't such a prick after all. He still is, but he held his own against Adam Cole, so you get a little bit of a golf clap, not a flapper clap, but you get a. That's it. That's all he's gonna get. And Adam Cole celebrates with the rest of the Undisputed Era, and he's still the king of NXT. And we'll see what happens with Adam Cole as we move forward from here. But good to see Adam Cole win. Thankfully, he won, because I would have went on a humongous rant on Pat McAfee that could have lasted 5 fucking hours. But it is what it is. Really, this video is about a minute and 20 seconds in. But it is what it is. And that's all I got to say about that. So Adam Cole picks up the victory. Match I gave 3.25 out of 5 stars. But a good showing from Pat McAfee. That's all I got to say about that. And we'll see what happens with Adam Cole as we move on. Probably just be Pat McAfee's one and done, and then he'll just do his crappy podcast. That's that. All right, after that, we got Drew McIntyre, the WWE Champion, on commentary. Make it better. For our next match, I believe it's match number 4 for the NXT Women's Title. Io Shirai taking on Dakota Kai with Raquel Gonzalez at ringside. This was a pretty good match. Two women just beating the crap out of each other. We had a run-in, but I'll get to that in a minute. It's also with Io being pissed. Tackles Dakota down to start, so a little bit of a cat fight. But Dakota comes back with a big kick. They go to the outside, but Raquel Gonzalez stands in Dakota's path to protect her, because Dakota's a pussy, which helps her swing the momentum. Starts working on Io's arm, traps it in an armbar while on the ropes. Ow. Then she hits a pump kick for a near fall. Continues to beat down Io. Gets a couple of near falls out of that, but Io keeps kicking out, which kind of pissed off Dakota. Each kick out causes Io to use more energy on her bad shoulder, which, I have to massage every night. It is what it is. Io finally gets going, delivers a 619, but her shoulder's still hurt, her arm. She hits a springboard drop kick, and then Dakota Kai wants a German off the apron, but switches to go for a powerbomb. Io gets free and hits a double stomp on her. Then they go inside the ring. Dakota kicks out right into another arm submission. She finds up some kicks, but Io gets pissed, no-sells them before hitting some of her own until she runs into a scorpion kick. She goes for a corner. Dakota goes for a corner boot and missed it. Takes a schoolboy into the corner. Ow. Io avoids another boot, starts hitting some running knees. 3 of them to be exact in the corner. Then they go up top. They fight a little bit where Dakota gets stuck in the tree of whoa. And Io hits another double stomp for a near fall. Dakota comes back with a headbutt and a modified chiropractor. Starts getting another armbar. Io fights out of it for a while before reaching the ropes. Dakota gets a drape and hits the GTK. Looked to have the title won, but then it's beat down. That beat Rhea Ripley to get to the number 1 contendership. I thought Dakota Kai was coming out. Rhea Ripley was coming out, but I wrote it wrong. She goes to the cover 1-2, and just barely. Io got her foot on the bottom rope. Dakota's pissed. Then she boosts the referee in the corner. Ooh, no. I thought it was going to be a disqualification. Io hits the moonsault, covers, but the referee's still out. And then Raquel Gonzalez comes in, powerbombs Io, drapes Dakota Kai's arm on Io, wakes up the referee. 1-2, but Io just kicks out at the last second, thankfully. Dakota wants another GTK, but Io gets free, slaps on a version of a crossface with her one good arm. Dakota gets free, heads outside, but Io takes both of them out with that beautiful moonsault. Then she sends Dakota Kai in the ring, goes up top again, hits another moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Io Shirai pins Dakota Kai cleanly. I thought it was going to be a disqualification thanks to Raquel Gonzalez, but it's okay. Io's still the champ. Match gave 3.25 out of 5 stars, but I think this feud will continue, as I'm going to get to it in just a minute, as we get to the aftermath. Raquel Gonzalez lays out Io, wants a powerbomb, but then we hear the music of Rhea Ripley. Thankfully, who Ash Costello does the theme song. Well, still, I don't know. Hopefully, she doesn't change it. I think it's the same theme song. I could be wrong, but Rhea Ripley comes out. She comes out to stand tall to Raquel. And then they come face to face. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're gonna fight! They're gonna fight!" Raquel's like that, and Rhea steps to her again. They talk some smack. And then Dakota's like, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. So they leave, and Io celebrates in the ring while Rhea Ripley watches from the stage with her eyes fixated at Io. So we'll see what happens with that. So maybe Rhea gets a title shot next. Maybe they'll do a triple threat. I don't know. But we'll see what happens this week on NXT TV, as it will be unopposed because the basketball playoffs are preempting AEW. AEW will be on Thursday night with their program, and we'll see how the ratings come out from that. And that's all I got to say about that. So the Aftermath I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. So it looks, and like I said, it looks like EO and Rhea Ripley might come to blows. I don't know. Might have a match, or Dakota gets another match, or a triple threat match at the next Takeover show, which is October the 4th. I don't know what they're going to name it, but I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks. And that's it. And we will move on from there. All right. Then we get an ad hyping the return of NXT UK from a special location in London, and they will be coming back on September the 17th, which is basically, obviously, actually the same day that AEW will be on, because they were preempted the night before, thanks to the basketball playoffs, which will continue on. I think it's the second round, second or maybe the third round, or the semifinals, or the semifinals, or the East and West finals. We'll see what happens with that. So NXT is back in the UK. That's great news. Great to see NXT UK. So see Kaylee Ray, Jordan Devlin, if he's not. I think Jordan Devlin got released. I don't know. Or we get Walter back, and all these stars from NXT UK, and maybe like Danny. We see Rich Holland come back to NXT UK. Maybe Finn Balor goes back to NXT UK for a couple shows. But I doubt that, because it's stuck in, this. I don't think there's any. You can't travel to anywhere in Europe or Asia or any other country, basically, which sucks for you. But it is what it is, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So NXT UK is coming back. That's fucking awesome, and that's pretty much it. All right, we got a person in the chat. I'm surprised, but it is what it is. Got 2 people watching. It's okay. I could have used a couple more, but it's all right. We got. See if I can get this up. Danny O. Danny O. Not Barry O. Danny O. Not Daddy O. Danny O. He says, wrestling. Yes. Wrestling. Wrestling. Yay. So, yes, wrestling. That's what it's all about. Wrestling. And that's that. So, we got NXT UK coming back September the 17th. Let's see what happens with that. But this Wednesday on NXT, we get the return of the Sicilian Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. He will return. We haven't seen him since he got his ass handed to him at the last Takeover show in your house by Mr. Killer Cross, which I'll talk about in a minute. So Ciampa's coming back, which is nice. And we'll see what happens with that, and we move on. All right, there we see Cesaro in the crowd. With the NXT upstarts. That's pretty nice. We see Cesaro there. Then we go to the back. We see Damian Priest hopping in a hot tub with some gorgeous women. One of them is Brandy Lauren, indie star Brandy Lauren. We've seen her in Shimmer, Shine, other various indie promotions. She's hot. But I digress. So Damian's getting, not getting it on, but he's having a good old time, and it pays to be the champ. Actually, no, but it is what it is. And that's all I got to say about that. And we will move on from there. All right, then we get to the main event for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. We got Keith Lee, the champion, taking on Killer Cross with the lovely Scarlet Bordeaux at ringside. Killer Cross has another epic freaking entrance. And then Keith Lee comes out with the belt. This match is pretty good. Not bad, but it is what it is. It's also with Keith Lee running him over at the bell. Cross is taking, so he's like, well, Cross like, holy shit. Cross is like, I never seen this before. Then they go back and forth as Keith Lee's just beating him down with some haymakers. They go to the outside. Cross hits the glass with a shot, or the plexiglass with a shot. Keith Lee misses, does the same, but it doesn't hurt him. Only breaks the glass. Is what it is. He goes for a charge into the ring post and missed, hits the ring post, and then is sent into the plexiglass again. And that injured, hurt Keith Lee's arm. So Cross starts working over it on the inside of the ring. Goes for a cover. Lee kicks out at 1. Cross keeps working on the arm with various holds and submissions for a few minutes. Kind of bored me, but it is what it is. But Keith Lee gets free with a powerbomb, then starts beating up Killer Cross. Keith Lee hits a power slam for a near fall. Then they go back and forth, but Killer Cross couldn't put Lee away as Lee kicks out. Scarlett is kind of like, no. She's kind of like worried. Keith Lee hits a suplex for a near fall. Then they go back and forth once again. Cross takes him down with a clothesline. Keith Lee comes back, looks one out while Cross seems fresh and like ready to go. And then Killer Cross gets going, seems to choke out Keith Lee, but Keith Lee keeps his arm up, the 1, 2, and still has some fight left in him as he reaches the ropes. And then Keith Lee gets going, hits the spirit bomb for a near fall. He goes up top. When he goes up, Cross fights him there. And then Cross hits a Doomsday Saito suplex from the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Killer Cross wins the title, but at what cost? Because as we saw on NXT, in a total exclusive, Killer Cross separated his shoulder, and he was getting looked at by the trainer, and he couldn't really lift his arms, which sucks. So kind of getting like a Finn Balor type situation where he hurt his shoulder, and then the next night on Raw he gave up the Universal title. Tomorrow, Killer Cross is going for an MRI. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. And that Killer Cross might just take some time off and maybe come back at the next takeover, depending on the severity of it. But then again, it could be really serious, and Killer Cross will have to relinquish the belt on Wednesday night. Hopefully, that's not the case, but we'll see what happens from there. If he does, they're just going to do another Finn Balor situation. Going to have a tournament. Keith Lee will probably win it again, win the belt back for the second time, and then they have another match. Killer Cross wins the belt back again, so I don't know what would be the point of that. But it is what it is, and that's basically all I got to say about that. And that's it. So Killer Cross gets the win. Match gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Wasn't that bad. And that he celebrates with his lovely girlfriend Scarlett Bordeaux. They go to the ramp. He picks up the title, and fire goes off. And that ends NXT Takeover 30. So not a bad takeover. I mean, not the best takeover. What? Shut up. Is this freezing? Oh.
Put air and stop screaming so much.
Oh, shut up. Go back to sleep. Anyway, we're gonna be quiet because Rose is sleeping. So not the best takeover show, but still pretty decent, pretty solid. I gave it a solid 7 out of 10 stars for that. And that's basically it for my reviews. So hopefully you all liked it. And if not, well, too bad. You got another review later with our SummerSlam review. As SummerSlam's coming up in about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna go watch SummerSlam. Then I'll be back around 11, maybe 12 o'clock with my SummerSlam review. And that'll be it. So you get 2 videos for the price of 1 on the Peter Gilmore YouTube channel. And that's that. All right, so that's it. So once again, as I leave you, AEW was an okay show. I gave it 6 out of 10 stars. I will see what happens this Thursday night on the program, and then we'll see what happens on NXT. NXT Takeover was a pretty solid show, not the best, but we'll see what happens with that. So I give that 7 out of 10 stars. So we'll see what happens on NXT this Wednesday night with the new champion Killer Cross. Will we relinquish the belt, or will we be taking some time off? We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with Damian Priest and as the new North American champion, who his first challenger might be. We'll see what happens with Io. She might have Rhea Ripley in her sights and maybe Dakota Kai in the background. Who knows? We got Breezango going after the tag belts with taking on Imperium. We don't know if that's going to happen this Wednesday night or in the future. But we'll see what happens as we get the aftermath of NXT Takeover 30, as NXT will start rolling on the road to the next Takeover show in October, and then the final NXT Takeover for the year will be War Games, I believe, on Survivor Series weekend. So 2 more takeovers for the year, and we'll see what happens with that as we end the year with NXT, because there won't be anything in December. I think they'll come back in January or maybe February with their first takeover of 2021. And that's pretty much all I can say about that. So thank you all for watching. Thank you to Danny O for coming in the chat, and for anybody else who watched, hit that like button, smash it to death. Also hit that subscribe button down below on this channel, and subscribe to all my other channels down below as well. Keep friending me on Facebook. Friend me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Twitter link down below in the description box. And share this video all over the internet. And most importantly, tap that bell, turn on all my notifications so you never ever miss an upload, so you know what's going on. And when I go live or when I do a video on my phone, which will be rarely, but you never know, unless I got some big news, I can do it on the phone. Not a big video, but we'll see what happens with that. So that's it. Thank you all for watching. Once again, AEW gets 6 out of 10 stars for the show, and NXT Takeover 30 gets 7 out of 10 stars for the show. But leave me your thoughts and opinions down below. Leave me some questions for a future Q&A in the comment section of the video, and continue to subscribe and share the videos and all that good stuff. That's all I gotta say about that. So thank you all for watching. Enjoy SummerSlam coming up in a little bit. I'll be back later with my SummerSlam review. But for now, I'm Peter Gilmore on this Sunday evening saying so long, farewell, peace out, and rock on. If you're not down with that, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Peter Gilmore signing off. Peace, bitches.